Merry meet and blessed be all. I'll do a full reading now for Monday, April 21st, 2025. I hope everyone had a nice weekend. Whether you were out protesting with the 50-51 or if you were celebrating Easter with your family, I hope that it was a good weekend for you. For those of you that may follow the Catholicism and the loss of Pope Francis, I am sorry for your loss. I felt he was a very good spiritual leader. I loved how he had taken the name of Saint Francis, who spoke with animals. It was a very quick it seemed very sudden this time, even though he had been ill for a while. So I hope there is a Christian folklore belief that if somebody passes away on Easter, it is a direct trip to heaven without having to go through judgment. This year was, I ended up actually socializing and spending time with a friend who had lost somebody dear to her on Easter last year. So it's just kind of an interesting story from the Christian folklores and legends regarding Easter, since Easter represents the resurrection. I have posted a series of shorts of single card readings of various fields, different aspects. Whichever one is the most popular will be the one that I will focus on into the future. So if there is one that you like specifically and you would like to see more of that one, please make sure to like and comment so that I know that's the one that you would like to see more of. Thank you so much. I'm really feeling the need to teach again. I teach basically a Wicca 101 class and general paganism. So I was thinking about starting a series for that. There are other classes that I teach as well. Hoping to teach tarot. Really have been wanting to get started this year. I had some health issues that kind of derailed me from being able to start, but I wanted to do a shadow class for people that are actually ready for that sort of thing. I'm not sure exactly how I will do this, but if you're interested in any of those, let me know. So I'm just doing a general reading, like I have been, of things, adjust the energies today, using my new gold foil Rider-Waite. I don't know where my Greenwich deck went. I was going to use it, but I can't find it right now. We are now in Beltane Week, May Day, the celebration of light, life, and love. The full celebration of the spring into summer and the warmer weather. And if anybody knows the song Mummer's Dance by Lorena McKennitt, it is very much about the traditions of Beltane. So you might want to consider listening to that and looking up those traditions and how they're practiced in the British Isles. I remember when that came out, I was pregnant at the time, and it was really meaningful to me. Anyways, let's see what cards have to say, shall we? Alright, let's see what we got going on. Alright, Page of Swords. Remember, pages are messengers. This type of message is going to come through by word of mouth, or it can be written. It can be over electronics, so it can also represent a phone call. It can represent an email, but there's a message coming through. Traditionally, he is known as the spy, so it could also be that somebody is watching you. I noticed that modern readers are saying that somebody's like watching your social media or something. We'll see with that. Hey, we got Six of Pentacles going on again. That is the need to be generous. Make sure that you're keeping a balance, giving to those that actually need it in a form of charity without expecting anything back in return. Make sure that you're not taking away from yourself, though, however, and make sure you're not being taken advantage of. That will help you where that is concerned. Perhaps you're getting a message of somebody in need that's needing to borrow some money or something. Yeah, the next one is the Knight of Cups. It always amazes me how we get kind of the same thing. So those of you who may be following the full readings, you can see how they're kind of repeating the messages and kind of building upon each other as we go through. So the Knight of Pentacles is a romantic, idealistic person who not necessarily is very grounded in reality. So if I were to take these three cards together, I would be saying that the situation that the reading is going to be based upon is receiving a message of somebody who is in need, like a friend who's needing you to give something to them, and to be careful because they may not have very good intentions, because you tend to be overly generous or idealistic in your generosity and sharing and giving to others, which isn't a bad thing. And the next card would definitely continue to build upon this belief as well, which is the Four of Pentacles. Four of Pentacles is making sure that you're conserving your resources, especially when it comes to money, being careful with them. This is a very practical advice as well, but also making sure that you're not holding on to it so tightly that you're becoming a bit of a miser, that you're not sharing it is, to the point that you're just like not letting go of it and holding it on. Believe it or not, what a lot of people don't understand is that it's actually not good for wealthy people to hoard their money like that. They keep it in their bank, and they're basically getting paid to not be, basically get paid to be wealthy, and they end up getting interest upon what is in their bank. So they just leave their money in there. The problem with this, though, is that the money's not in circulation. And when it's not in circulation, it actually causes damage to the economy, especially people who do not have a large amount of wealth. So I'd like to see the United States and the world to have less focus on wealth and greed and profit, and instead focus on helping and taking care of each other and taking care of the planet and sharing it. And maybe that's my idealism, but there's also a very practical reason for it as well, because we're only as good as when you go as a historian, when you look at advanced civilizations, which nowhere in the world today is an advanced civilization. It's very arrogant as well as ignorant to think that we do have an advanced civilization. We really don't. Not compared to ones that we've had in times past. And one of the ways that this is determined by is that you look at the poor and you look at who is in prison. You look at the poorest of the people. In advanced civilization, you won't be able to tell the difference between somebody who is wealthy and somebody who is poor. And we can tell this through archaeological records. The other mark of an advanced civilization is one that is focused upon the arts and sciences and in philosophy. None of those things are considered valuable in our world now. We value money above all else. We value what looks good and status above anything else. Not art is not taken personally. Medicine is and science are completely disregarded, and we lose something of our souls with the technology, to where most people don't even know what philosophy is or how to have critical thinking skills. And I know I've diverse off of things like that, but it just kind of comes back to the ideal of what is our democracy, what is our world today, and how does this help with everything. And I really do feel like we each have our roles to play in what's happening in the world right now. And I just would really like to see us evolved into something that's more, where humanity can show the best of who they are instead of the worst. And that is my optimism and my hope, because money, it sounds like it's practical, but really it is an abstract concept. What is money except for what we as humans choose to put as a value upon it? Otherwise, what is it practical? It's not practical. You can't eat it. You can't take it with you when you die. It's considered necessary, but the value that money has is only what we place upon it. And we can change that. That is a human construct that can be changed by humans. and we could change the entire world just with that one concept. I mean, there are many areas of our lives that this could happen, but that's one of them that I think could happen for us if we were. Judgment is the next one, which is where we're going through this karmic cycle again. There's a lesson that's being repeated, which is a spiritual lesson that is being repeated again until we get it right. So there's that renewal. Interesting too, because it does represent the resurrection as well. When you're talking about Christianity with and is associated with the Easter season. Another page of Pentacles. This is also having to do with money. Now, let's see, that is 3 cards with money, so this is definitely a money reading, unless some other cards come up to share with it, but it will have to do with money in what realm of that. And they are side by side in the way I lay them out. So you have the generosity that you have, making sure that you're not holding onto things too tightly, but also conserving your resources so you're not being too free. Be very interesting if we see the 2 of Pentacles come out, because 2 of Pentacles represents that balance that you would want to maintain, that this is speaking of, or temperance. One of those is kind of what I'm feeling from here. Page of Pentacles is a message about money, or somebody handing you something like a gift, something being handed to you. Pentacles represent like coins and money and jobs and that sort of thing. The next card is 7 of Cups. There's a wish. And I think I explained this one before. Be careful what you wish for, because there may be a price to pay for getting what you wish for. So just be careful what it is that you're looking for. Each of the 7 cups has a different wish in here, or a different dream. Each one represents a different aspect of our lives. I've also heard the 7 of Cups to represent things that are elusive, things that are manifest, like opportunities that might manifest themselves, and you need to make sure that you're grabbing onto that opportunity before it dissipates like clouds. So if there's sometimes there's like an image that I might get of, like, you're seeing like a rotating thing. There used to be these cafeterias that the meals, the different types of food would rotate around, and you would grab what you wanted. And if you didn't grab it right away, it would have to come back around. So this is saying that you need to grab it when you see it, when whatever it is that you want, have an idea beforehand. So when that opportunity presents itself, you know to grab it, because it may not come back around again. Although with judgment, it very well could. Or maybe you missed an opportunity and you're hoping it'll come back around again. Then we got a King of Pentacles. This is somewhere in your environment. You have somebody who's holding on to this is somebody who's on to a lot of money, and he determines on who gets the money and who doesn't. I have seen this represent the government, especially this particular administration, and what it has to do with money. So we might be receiving a message about money that's going to require us to be careful with our resources, as well as making sure that we are sharing those resources and helping out our neighbors, friends, family, that sort of thing, and making sure that we don't lose, kind of having a bit of having that idealism and not losing that idealism, but at the same time remaining realistic. I almost getting like a message of that we're about to experience a reality check of some sort. The Emperor would also reinforce the King of Pentacles. This is the hope that somebody is going to use their rulership, their authority, their leadership responsibly. It represents the divine masculine of somebody who is a good ruler. The King of Pentacles is supposed to be, when used appropriately and positively, he is somebody who is generous with his wealth, and he gives out things freely and helping people. For some reason, I'm kind of getting the message of a godfather, but with a godfather, he expected something in return, including loyalty. that the King of Pentacles isn't really supposed to be expecting something back. It's just giving because he has so much that he is willing to share with everyone. And he's not going to be afraid of losing that. It is the card that represents the sign of the King of Pentacles is Taurus. So that it's a very stable, grounded, loyal. Those are all the good qualities of Taurus. The negative qualities of Taurus would be like stubbornness. And with it being connected with the Emperor is represents the sign of Aries. And it's interesting because we are transitioning from the sign of Aries, the sun in Aries, to the sun in Taurus. So it's very interesting. It's very masculine, both of them. Even though the Pentacles is a feminine sign, a suit, it is still very masculine, and the Emperor is very masculine. So there's a very much a masculine energy in regards to where money and wealth is concerned in this reading. The outcome is the Hierophant. Now that's 3 major arcana cards. 3 major arcana cards means a spiritual message, and this is in regards to wealth and money. The Hierophant, I realized this today, that we were getting that message over the several days, that every day we were getting a card for the Hierophant. One of the words for the Hierophant is also the Pope. And I thought that was interesting that we were getting that message. So we have the Hierophant, which is a male. The Emperor is male. We have the Judgment. Judgment is kind of a neutral card. It's not a masculine, feminine, or anything like that sort of thing, I don't think. Because the letter for Judgment is Sheen, which is Hebrew for like spirit. I'm just trying to see if I'm going to get anything else from it. There's a lot of red in this gold foil today of it as well. It's not fiery though. It's definitely more like a manifestation. So something in the realm of money, saving money, sharing money, profits, that sort of thing. You see, when I can do a one-on-one reading, then I can go into exactly where in your life, your personal life. That's where it's hard to do things in general readings. I'm just going to pull about 3 more cards, and then I'll do a confirmation with a different deck. We get Queen of Swords representing the truth, cutting through the lies and the deceptions and the revealing of the truth. The Knight of Swords is rushing in. Something's going to go very quickly, rushing in without thinking or moving. And the next card is Justice, but it's in the reverse, and my cards are not reversed. So Justice reversed means somebody might be getting away with something without justice. I'll do one more just in case. Yeah, the 5 of Swords, the thief. Well, kind of a thief. Something's just really, there's going to be a transformation. There's change coming of something. It's just learning to be patient. Let me grab another deck. Oh, where are my decks at? Give me just a minute. I'm going to see if I can find one. All right. I don't know where my Green Witch deck is. I was really hoping I'd find that. So I'm going to use my steampunk, one of my steampunk decks. I think I've got like 3 of them. I thought I had 3. I only see 2. But I know that I have several. I like to collect themes sometimes where I go, I'm going to start with this one, like I have a fairy, and I'll get like 3 different fairy decks, and Rider-Waite's, and just different ones because then I like to stick with that sort of thing. So I'm going to continue with that. I haven't used this deck in a while. I like the Steampunk deck a lot. It's this is kind of a girl powery type deck, where again the knights and the pages are women. Alright, let's see what we have going on. I'm going to light another incense while I'm doing that. I can't reach my candle flame. Oops, broke off. I guess this deck, it just like broke into 3 pieces. Okay. I apologize for the delay. 3 of Cups, a celebration. I would see three of Cups as being Beltane. 3 of Cups, no, 3 of Cups is full moon. 4 of Cups is Beltane. 3 of Cups is 3 friends gathering together in celebration of food and drink. 8 of Swords is feeling confined and restricted from moving forward. Page of Wands, another message. Page of Wands is a message regarding the means from which it comes to you is going to be from a child or a message about children. It's generally or somebody younger than yourself will bring you the message. 7 of Swords. That one you can tell it looks like the thief. I know it's kind of reflective. There we go. There's a lot of symbolism in this, is that even if you think you're getting away with something, you're still going to be seen with doing that. So the Hangman. There's a certain amount of stagnation happening. Something's going to stop. The other reading was in regards to finances, like with the economic market, perhaps, and needing to look at things from a different point of view. 9 of Swords. We're going to be feeling this anxiety, the uncertainty, as well as a reality check. Something about that. You're going to need to start planting seeds. Page of Pentacles, or Ace of Pentacles, I'm sorry. Planting seeds in your garden. You're going to need to start planning on how you can expand your finances. Now, the Emperor in regards to finances is actually meaning that you're going to be able to manifest your money, and that's what you're hoping for, the money that is needed. With the King of Pentacles means that you'll have help from somebody benevolent that you can trust, and you'll be able to see through it. The 4 of Swords, stress is going to be a problem that's going to affect your health. So make sure that you're doing some self-care, controlling the stress, and getting the rest that is needed, or somebody close to you needs these things. 10 of Cups is your hope. There's that idealism there. Again, I call this card the happily ever after card. 10 of Cups is like a happy family, happy romance, having everything work out. It's in the position of hope, hopes and dreams, which could be part of your 7 of Cups in the last reading. And then 5 of Cups, as the outcome for this particular reading, is a sense of loss. In this particular deck, the man has had something happen to him, and he's drinking too much, where he is like fallen asleep there at the bar, and the barmaid is concerned about him. So in this particular reading, was there any cards that were the same of the other one? I don't believe so. They're all different. There's only the Hangman was the only major arcana, and this one had 4 swords and 3 cups. So swords representing the mind and what you're thinking, and all of these swords all indicate anxiety and concern and stress, and the cups all represent that, aside from the 5 of Cups, which is dealing with a loss, there's something to celebrate. So there's something to celebrate where love and relationships are concerned. There's a sense of stress and anxiety over something, which I would consider probably has to do with money because of the other reading, because this is a confirmation of the other reading that we had. So if you have any questions that you want more clarification of, or if there's anything else, any comments that you want to convey, any thoughts that you might have from the reading that you might have for yourself, if you're a reader yourself, any impressions or messages that you might have received during this reading, I very much welcome those. If this helped you, please let me know it helped you. And if you do not have time for these longer 30-minute readings, there are the shorts for doing the 1 cards. If you are wanting to get a personal reading, feel free to email me at askarcana, ask.arcana, ARCANA, at gmail.com. Thank you so much. I think that if you do a message through YouTube, it'll go directly to my email as well. And then I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you so much. Merry part until merry meet again. Blessed be to all.